So as soon as I look at these answer choices, I know exactly what they're testing. A lot of you are going to say tense, right? Past tense, present tense, whatever. These are verbs that have different properties. These are about singulars and plurals. If I just look at the choices, were is a plural verb. Have is a plural verb. Are is a plural verb. Was is a singular verb. Remember, singular verbs tend to end in S. So, well, one of these things is not like the others. So just like that, I'm like, all right, well, it's probably going to be D, but obviously we have to read it and make sure. But notice now I have a different goal. I'm not listening for the tense. I'm looking for what is the subject of this verb. If it's singular or plural, that's going to determine what my answer is. And then I can think about tense later. So I'm looking just at this sentence here. Amplifying the voices and experiences of black soldiers was of particular importance to Chester, who later became an activist and lawyer during the post-war Reconstruction period. So this is just extra stuff. Let's just ignore it. Right, so here's my sentence. Amplifying the voices and experience of black soldiers was of particular importance to Chester. Now, why is it was? Because that definitely is the answer. The subject of this sentence is actually the word amplifying. Remember that nouns, which are what subjects are, right? They're things. Well, they can be a person, place, thing, or, we kind of forget this grouping, ideas. That's what this is here. Amplifying voices, that's an idea. It's not something physical in the world that you can hold and touch, but it's a noun. It's a thing that can do an action. So the amplifying was of particular importance. So it's tricky because then we have these extra words in between the voices and experiences of black soldiers. Notice too, plural, plural, plural. Not a coincidence. They want you to get tricked by that. But those are just descriptive pieces. They're giving us more information about what's being amplified, but the amplifying is the actual subject here. It's something you just got to get used to. These ing words that are sometimes verbs can also sometimes be nouns, and they behave like things, even though they're not physically in the world. So that's what's happening here. But notice, we kind of knew it was going to be D from the start, just based on the fact that that's the only singular verb here and the other three are plural, and just knowing that one has to be right and the other three have to be wrong, okay, one of these things is not like the others, that's probably the one that's right. So that's not an ideal way to get it. I could easily see the SAT messing with us on that, but like, hey, it would have worked here, and this is a complicated rule, subject-verb agreement, but we have kind of like two things going in our favor here. Hopefully it also sounds right to say D, but I get why we might get confused with all the other plural nouns in the sentence. Tricky, but this is the kind of thing that if you memorize it and practice it, you can get right every time, and it's a nice, solid group of points on a hard question that you can lock in.